What's up, guys? Welcome back to Poncho's Couch Reviews. Today we're taking a look at Grandpa Joe. No, we're taking a look at Willy Wonka movies. Starting off with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm a little biased for this movie because I have good parents, so I grew up with this movie, but it absolutely holds up as one of my favorite movies of all time. The hook is, the fun and mystery of the factory itself, but even the build-up is perfect. Charlie's character is so sympathetic, and it's harrowing to see his struggles and conversations with his family build up to this triumphant golden ticket moment where Grandpa Joe utters the iconic lines, "I've got a golden ticket." But even all the side vignettes are perfect. Charlie's teacher is hilarious. This dude is hilarious. This scene is hilarious.
Just two.
Two? What do you mean you only opened two?
I don't care very much for chocolate.
Well, I can't figure out just two, so let's pretend you opened 200.
It says, I won't tell. That would be cheating.
It's your husband's life or your case of Wonka bars.
How long will it give me to think it over?
All these little one-scene montages of golden ticket shenanigans are so fun to watch. Of course, the factory scenes are amazing. They really made each room feel colorful and creative with such a low budget despite the red chocolate scene. The snozberries taste like snozberries. God, I love it. Gene Wilder gives one of my favorite performances of all time. And of course, that famous story of him only agreeing to do the movie if he could start by walking out with a cane, pretending to fall, and doing a somersault. It really tells all about his character, and how much thought Gene put into it. Every character is silly and charming. The humor is dry and perfect. The sort of British humor. The ideas are so creative, and Grandpa Joe is one of my favorite villains. So, great movie, hell yeah. 10 out of 10, perfect movie. Charlie Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton movie. Every time I go to watch this movie, I think I'll be more engrossed in the whimsy, whether it be ironic or genuine or a guilty pleasure sort of enjoyment of this movie. But every time I go back, it just sucks the joy out of me. Johnny Depp is atrocious. I don't know how he became so popular, on TikTok, and I guess it's just nostalgia. I didn't grow up with this movie. So I could see how some people, remember Johnny Depp and, remembering the movie. But he is terrible. He makes some insane choices. The daddy issues shit. Don't make fucking Saruman, what's his name, play Johnny Depp's shitty subplot dad. Come on. He has no nuance or subtlety, which is what was so great about Gene Wilder. He just hates these kids for some reason, as opposed to Gene's sarcasm and light disdain for the children that can be interpreted in so many ways. No, yucky kids. I hate kids, is what Johnny Depp says.
Then shouldn't you be up there?
Well, I couldn't very well watch the show from up there.
How can I love girl?
The Oompa Loompa songs are dog shit.
Augustus Gloop, the great bakery evening compoop.
Gives me the shivers. Grandpa Joe is nothing. Everything interesting and fun from Willy Wonka is missing from this movie. Fuck you. Now, this movie is still mildly entertaining and has a fun world and fine visuals, so it isn't complete, garbage trash fire. 4 out of 10. Timmy Wonka movie. This movie, I would say, absolutely captures the whimsy of Willy Wonka. Now, I think Timmy is about in the middle of these two Willies. He does quite a good job, for sure. Sometimes he overdoes it and overquirks, but that's kind of what I love about this. And he has the pipes. This movie is the best musically Willy Wonka has probably ever been, in my opinion. The Keegan-Michael Key song is not only pretty catchy, but is actually hilarious. And I honestly genuinely kind of love the Stupid Noodle song. The humor worked for me, not quite as much as Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder, but still really great. The subplot with the zoo clerk is very funny. I'm mentioning it again, but Keegan-Michael Key was amazing as Big Fat Boy. The other subplot with Olivia Colman and deep-voiced British guy was funny and charming, and you can't go wrong with Rowan Atkinson. He kills every comedic role he is. The world building is honestly quite great. I really feel engrossed in this wonderland. I do feel I have to mention the Oompa Loompa in the room. Hugh Grant not only looks kind of weird with the CG, but he clearly phoned in this performance and felt weirdly out of place. But besides that, it's fun world building, has some really funny moments, great musically, and I really was attached to these characters. So 8 out of 10. Good job, guys. That's the end of my review. The age-old question. Who is the villain of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Actually, I'm the only one who thinks about that because I'm actually losing it. So, first of all, why don't we just look it up, right? Oh, yeah, Slugworth. That's right. No, that's not right. The writing and making process for this entire movie was pretty all over the place. For example, the musical bits were written by like 3 random guys before the script was even finished. They just had the general story beats together, and they just told them to write it based on that. Another thing is the creative, the producers, the writers, and all them had many creative differences and arguments with Roald Dahl himself, which made it a whole process. They didn't have a big budget at all. It was just genuinely a whole struggle. And one of the little tidbits from the making is that one of the first drafts didn't have a villain. And that's a big problem because kid movie needs villain. So they came out with Slugworth. And, you know, he tempts the children into taking the gobstopper to get money. You know, he's just a little slimeball grease man who's a little greedy man. But if you've actually seen the movie, you'd remember that there's this twist at the end that he's been working with Wonka. They're in cahoots, and he's just like a test for these children to see how greedy they are. An obstacle tempting Charlie for greed, but he's not out for greed. But this leaves us with no answers, no villains. What the hell, movie? We're gonna need to look deeper. What even is a villain? Okay, I know this sounds like a stupid long ramble, and it is. But this is important to define. The Google definition for villain is a character whose evil plan, it doesn't matter. What we're really looking for is an antagonist who is defined by their relationship to the protagonist. Plenty of movies star an evil or villainous character, but that doesn't make them the antagonist. That doesn't make them the villain, which I'm going to substitute for antagonist. It's just easier. What I'm looking for is a criteria. A villain needs presence to provide an obstacle and to challenge the hero's morals. What do I mean by this? When I say presence, I don't necessarily mean screen time. Some of the most iconic villains aren't in the movie all that much, but they generally have to have some sort of other force pushing the hero, or a looming threat to the hero, at least. And a villain needs to provide obstacles, whether it's physical or mental. So let me use an example of one of my favorite villains, Green Goblin, portrayed by Willem Dafoe. He obviously beats the shit out of Spidey, so there's the physical aspect, but he gives him a choice in this one scene. Gives him a choice to join him, but Spidey ends up prevailing. So far, Slugworth doesn't really have a presence, although, you know, he's mentioned throughout, so we'll give it to him. He provides an obstacle, so it's something. He's still maybe in the running. Now, the last and probably most important, a villain's challenging of the hero's morals. And this is where you really rule out most people. Before we go into that, what are Charlie's morals and the morals of the story? So, it's a story about greed. One of Charlie's first acts, when he gets his birthday chocolate, is deciding to share it with his family.
Here, everybody have a bite.
Obviously, all of these children fucking die because they're greedy. That's kind of the whole point. Whether it's gluttony, money, overindulgence in TV and guns, or fucking gum greed. It's a story about greed. Now we've explained our checklist. Has a present, provides obstacles, and challenges the hero's morals. Does Slugworth challenge Charlie's morals? No. While he tempts him to greed, he doesn't believe in him. He's more of a teacher. But now that I've brought up the kids, you may be thinking of the fun, popular theory, Wonka is a child murderer. Obviously, he's the villain, right? What a fun twist. No. While he does have a massive present and provide countless obstacles, he's perfectly in line with Charlie's morals. They both believe in sharing, and that's why Charlie wins at the end. He does what he does because he hates greed and believes in selfishness. So, he's not the villain, whether he's murdering children or not. So, who does this leave us with? We could rule out most of the characters due to them just not having a presence, and all the parents and kids kind of boil down to the same character types, so we can lump them into one category. Are the children the villains? No, they barely even interact with Charlie. They don't provide obstacles. If anything, they block them by killing themselves with greed. The parents are just reflections of their own children's greed. So they're not the villain. I don't get it. Who does that leave us with? Surely Charlie Bucket, the main character of the movie, can't be the villain. Or can he? No, he can't. That doesn't make any sense. It's Grandpa Joe. That's the big twist. Grandpa Joe is the villain. I'm serious about this. Let's go through the gauntlet. Does he have a presence? Yes, obviously. Now I'm going to convince you of the other two, whether you like it or not. To fit the list, Grandpa Joe must provide obstacles for Charlie, and in order to fit the description of criteria, Under criteria 3, I must be saying that to oppose Charlie's morals of selfishness, Grandpa Joe must be a greedy bastard and a leech. And that's way too mean. That's so over the top. But what if I told you that Grandpa Joe fits this description like a glove? Now, early on in the story, Grandpa Joe is just a nice little man who is very supportive of Charlie's dreams of getting the golden ticket.
Open it, Charlie. Let's see that golden ticket.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
It's not fair to raise his hopes.
Never mind. Go on, open it, Charlie. I want to see that gold.
Stop it, Dad.
I've got the same chance as anybody else, haven't I?
You got more, Charlie, because you wanted more.
Go on, open it.
But early on, we see some telling evidence that shines a bad light on him. And that's when we all know that Charlie eventually does find the golden ticket. With his own found money, might I add, not Grandpa Joe's forfeited poverty money that he spends on cigarettes.
Grandpa, that money was for tobacco.
But I digress. So right now, he's an average grandpa, an average Joe. What happens next? Now, Charlie finds the ticket, he goes home, and Grandpa is excited to see this. Out of happiness for Charlie? Of course not. We'll get into that. He's so excited that he gets the fuck out of bed and does a jig. So after years of being bedridden, he just gets up.
Look at me. Look at me.
So did Grandpa Joe experience a miracle, or was he lying for years? Only time will tell. So why is Grandpa Joe excited? Is it because he's happy that Charlie has a golden ticket? No. He's excited because...
'Cause I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden twinkle in my eye.
Yeah, that's right. Despite trying to correct yourself by saying it's ours, Charlie.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie.
Your first thought was, I've got a golden ticket. Red flag, Gramps. Once they get to the factory, Grandpa Joe's kind of an asshole to everybody he doesn't know, but that can just be chopped up to Grandpa Grumpiness.
Ladies first, and that means Veruca.
If she's a lady, I'm a vermicious knit.
Beautiful paddle boat, that's what I want.
What she wants is a good kick in the pants.
Except for right here. What happened here?
Somebody's touching me!
Oh. Now look here, Wonka! Excuse me, question time.
Did he just commit a crime? Moving on. Of course, the classic chocolate factory shenanigans play out, but early on, a key scene happens. The fizzy lifting drinks. Move along, gang. The fizzy lifting drinks aren't ready. To steal a sip would be not only dangerous, but greedy.
Let's take a drink, Charlie. Nobody's watching.
Yeah.
A small one won't hurt us. Whoops.
Help! Grandpa, the sand!
Stay away from it, Charlie. It'll chop us to bits.
But we're not done. That decision obviously almost kills him and Charlie, but it also almost ruins Charlie's chance at the grand prize.
You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You're a crook. You're a cheat and a swindler.
He's already dug such a deep hole. He can't go deeper. Right? But no, we're not done. After seemingly all is lost, Grandpa Joe remembers about a deal with Slugworth.
I'll get even with him if it's the last thing I ever do. Slugworth wants a gobstopper. He'll get one.
Yeah, he says it. In the 11th hour, he still tries to tempt Charlie to greed. But after a whole day of seeing greed's reflection in the parents and children of 4 families, Charlie prevails and gives back the gobstopper. A selfless act.
Mr. Wonka?
So shines a good deed in a weary world.
He prevails in spite of Grandpa Joe's temptation and moral standings, which is exactly what a villain should do. Let's look back and reflect. Grandpa Joe, at every corner, has tried to gain money or chocolate or whatever by any means necessary, because that's what he is, a leech. And that puts everything into context. He takes poverty money from his caretakers to buy cigarettes. You think he's above faking being bedridden for his whole life? But that's not it. There's one more thing I have to bring up. Why is Grandpa Joe seemingly so supportive? He's not. His support of Charlie is just a mask of his own greed. He only supports Charlie when he's down because he wants the gobstopper money. So why am I not surprised that in Grandpa Joe's final moments, these are his last telling words?
How did you like the chocolate factory, Charlie?
I think it's the most wonderful place in the whole world.
I'm very pleased to hear you say that, because I'm giving it to you. That's all right, isn't it?
You're giving Charlie the...
I can't go on forever, and I don't really want to try. So who can I trust to run the factory when I leave and take care of the Oompa Loompas for me? Not a grown-up. A grown-up would want to do everything his own way, not mine. That's why I decided a long time ago that I had to find a child. A very honest, loving child to whom I can tell all my most precious candy-making secrets.
And that's why you sent out the golden tickets.
That's right. So the factory's yours, Charlie. You can move in immediately.
And me?
I know this is a lighthearted movie about sharing and selflessness and greed being bad, and it is, but intentionally or not, this ending leads to a darker thesis. Because at the end of the day, Grandpa Joe's question is answered.
And me?
Absolutely.
What happens to the
The
rest?
whole family. I want you to bring them all. But Charlie, don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What happened?
He lived happily ever after.
The greedy parents and children don't just lose and potentially die because they're greedy, but because they're dumb. And Grandpa Joe is smart. He's sly with his wording. He's close to Charlie. He pretends to be better than all the other parents. He's slow and steady. He benefits off his family's kindness, and it works because at the end of the day, humanity and selflessness prevails, but so does smart and manipulative greed. After all,
What difference does it make where he got it? Point is, he got it.
Help. Police. Murder.